Hey guys, it's Kylie, and I thought I would take a minute to talk about my weight loss journey as an individual with cerebral palsy. So recently I decided that I wanted to lose weight because it's easier on my joints to be able to walk and lift myself up. For those of you who don't know what cerebral palsy is, it's a muscle disorder that basically means stunted muscle growth. So I have trouble with balance, with lifting myself, with walking and climbing, and mostly just mobility, balance. I get around pretty good. I can walk, obviously, but it's really tough. I don't get the seizures like most people do, so I mean that's a win. But yeah, my muscles get really tight and they make it hard to walk, and they get tighter than the average person. So I decided to go on a diet and do exercise to make them easier to stretch and to build the muscle that I do have so I can do those basic things. I was diagnosed when I was about 2 years old because I wasn't walking, and when I did learn to walk, I walked on my tiptoes, so I had to wear AFOs to get me to walk with flat feet. And so I worked for a long time in physical therapy to be able to walk, go downstairs, jump, and throw balls and stuff like that, tennis balls. I had to do OT therapy for my fingers. I had to practice learning how to tie my shoes, writing, etc. And I have been dealing with it I'm 24 now, and so it's usually not bad, but with the weather changing into summer, that is when I have to kind of take extra precautions, because with the pressure in the air, the biometric pressure, it changes how my muscles, how tight they are, how limber I could be, that kind of thing. So I decided basically that I would start working to strengthen my legs, and by walking on the treadmill and by doing squats and leg lifts and different exercises to build muscle. Honestly, CP comes in many forms. Mine is spastic diplega. It is the most mild case that, for me personally, but it affects my hips, my neck, and my back. So I have use of my hands, I can speak clearly, and I'm able to eat on my own. I use a wheelchair part-time for long-distance travel. Usually if I'm at a mall or a theme park, that's when I use it. But mine is very mild, but I got it because I was born premature. So I ended up having a few different problems. I also have autism as well, so that's where I get the head bobbing from, and so it might be part of the CP too, I'm not really sure, but that's a little bit about me and my physical disorder. I'm still trying to work on getting everything right. I'm working on my independence, being able to get myself places like to the mall, to to the park. I'm able to pretty much get myself anywhere that I want because there's a disability bus that comes by the house and I can ride that. But typically on a normal day, the things that I struggle with are tight muscles. My neck is usually sore and I have to crack it a lot, and that really hurts. I deal with back pain and sometimes tight hip muscles. The tight muscles do hurt, but if I'm able to stretch them, it's a lot better. I take baclofen for muscle relaxing. I take methylphenidate for ADHD, gabapentin for the autism and the mania of that, and then I take Buspar for anxiety. And I take meds twice a day to try to keep up. A lot of times, how cerebral palsy is different from other disorders is that it is not progressive. So it's very, it remains the same throughout lifetime, and it's not something that somebody can necessarily inherit once, you know, they're out of the womb. Like, they can't, unless they get a brain injury, it's not very common for them to get it afterwards. It is hereditary. So if I were to have a child, that child could possibly, they've got a 50% chance of inheriting it. I got really lucky because mine was super mild. I was able to ditch the AFOs when I was in high school, and I was able to not use a wheelchair all the time, which for other people that's not always the case, because most of the time it's a lot more severe and people have a lot more pain than myself. But just because I have this disorder doesn't mean that I can't live a happy life. Some things I'm not able to do, I know I said this was going to be about weight loss. It's really just facts about CP while I'm working out. So things that I'm not able to do because of my cerebral palsy include I'm not able to drive because I don't have the reaction time to be able to work the pedals and stop when I need to. And it's just hard for me to stretch my legs down there to try to get to the right pedals. I am not really able to do a whole lot of, like, I can do sports, but I can't do, like, cheerleading or gymnastics or anything like that. I have trouble stepping off curbs, but I'm working on that. I have a hard time lifting myself. Things that there's not really much I can't do. Having children, that's still up in the air. I'm not really sure about that. But yeah, I have to have a lot of extra help when it comes to getting up in a car, climbing, that kind of thing. So yeah, I can't drink, so I can't have alcohol because I used to drink, but my body was just like, we don't want to tolerate alcohol. So marijuana is legal here in the state of Washington, so I am able to take that on occasion for my cerebral palsy and my autism, which it helps a lot. Fun fact, a lot of physical symptoms like balance and coordination and falling and stuff, that cerebral palsy and autism can overlap. So I'm not sure really what I get from what, to be honest. But yeah, So I'm pretty much, working on my core, like lifting, and being able to stand up from getting up from the ground, being able to squat and keep my back straight and keep it from hurting. I'm working on lifting my legs straight up and down to try to help, because my feet are like duck feet, so they're not straight, and that can cause me to fall a lot. So I'm working on, when I do leg lifts, like lifting them up and keeping them straight and then putting them back down to work on my core, because my specific kind of cerebral palsy affects my hips and my core strength. So I have to work on my trunk muscles and get them strong so that I can lift myself in a reasonable amount of time. The kind of chair I have is a manual one. I'll talk more about that in another video because I'm trying to get another chair. But yeah, so one of the things that's I'll talk about as I go along on my channel is weight loss, because it's been hard for me, and I've been very glad to finally find a diet that's conducive to my muscle disorder and exercise that is conducive to it as well. But all that said, the reason I was making this video is awareness for cerebral palsy, and just to let everybody know that just because somebody has cerebral palsy, it doesn't mean that they're the most severe case. Like, CP is a spectrum just like any other disorder, and it can go from very mild to very severe in some people. But there are a lot of people with CP that have jobs, that have families, that are independently living on their own. Having CP does not mean that you can't do what you want to do. I was on track and field in high school, regular track and field, and I busted my ass and, just got to where I wanted to be. So, I don't let anybody put me down, but I also know my limits. And if I can't do something, I'm going to tell somebody because it's the right thing to do. I feel like in society we talk so much about limitation, and people, I love them. They want to do right by us, and they want to believe that we're capable of everything. And I'm not trying to negate my point, because yes, we can do most things we put our mind to, but we are human and we do have our limitations. And so a lot of times people are surprised when we go from, setting the standard and just raising the bar to having high support need days where we need more help. And I am on the internet here talking about this because I want to raise more awareness for, the more milder cases. Because just because somebody's case is mild doesn't mean they don't deal with pain, doesn't mean they don't need help, doesn't mean that they don't need to take extra safety precautions when it comes to going out and about in the world. I will do another video on the things I do for safety when I'm out and about by myself, because believe it or not, I can go out by myself. I just have to be aware and practice a few different things. But that's another video. This video is mostly just about education and how it works. A lot of times CP is diagnosed between the ages of 2 and 5. So that's when I started therapy, and when I started learning to walk with flat feet, learning to wear tennis shoes, learning to pick myself up off the ground, and how to fall properly. And then I learned to wear AFOs. I'll go into that in another video. They're pretty much like leg braces that keep your feet flat on the ground, but they stretch your legs the entire day because they keep them at like a 90-degree angle. I will probably do another video on the different types of braces, but that is why if you see me bobbing my head or, you know, my eyes and you're asking if I can blink them or not, I can blink them, but I do struggle with that. So that's to answer that. Please leave questions down in the comments if you want to know more about cerebral palsy. I know this channel is a reborn and autism channel, but like I think I am going to start talking about CP as well, because I have just as many complications from that as I do like the autism and everything else. So yeah, I am currently on the treadmill right now. I am burning calories and I'm on a pretty strict diet. I am going to post what I eat in a day so you guys can see how I safely diet having this disorder, because again, to add to the things I can't do, like a keto diet is one of them. I can't do keto, I can't do pescatarian, I can't do vegetarian or vegan, because they tend to involve a lot of pseudo protein where it's not good for my muscles and I get very, very sick. I will do a video on how I also tried to be pescatarian for a year and it made me very ill because of the stuff I was eating. So I always check with my doctor first before I get on any kind of diet. Yeah. So that's about it. I'm pretty much just finishing my workout. I've been on here for 30 minutes. Probably gonna go do some core strengthening exercises after this. But if you like hearing about this stuff, give this channel a follow. I am on a couple different places on TikTok. I will link all that down in the description. But this is my YouTube channel, Bunny and Baby Talk. I like the name because I like bunnies and I like reborns, so there you go. So if you guys have questions, I am an open book. Please leave them down in the comments. Please be respectful in the comments, and please always choose kindness. Just because I have a mild case doesn't mean that others are less capable if they're more severe. It also doesn't mean that I agree with spewing hate. Please, if you're going to educate on these disorders in the comments of any kind, please make sure you check your facts, because people getting misinformation is the reason why people get misdiagnosed. So if you are not a doctor and you want to share that conversation in the comments, I don't mind, but please do your research. And please do not leave hate on another person's page if they talk about a different experience with cerebral palsy than me. And please remember that we're all human. Just because I look capable all the time doesn't mean that I am. Okay, I love you guys. Bye.